Hello, Facebook friends. Well, I am down in front of Biddle House. This is the city's homeless shelter. One of the issues facing the homeless is lack of medical attention, and that's one of the things that this organization, Affinia Healthcare, is trying to deal with. And they are going around to all really of the shelters, and they're providing medical attention for the homeless. They're talking to them. Some have Medicare and Medicaid. They're seeing what types of insurance they have, what can they get, and what needs they have also. If they have needs, they're trying to figure out how to take care of them and all that. But when you're out on the street and you're dealing with a lot of issues, obviously you have a lot of health concerns while you're there. You just imagine that you're out on the street day in and day out, or you're around a collective of other people who's got issues and medical issues going on, and you're dealing with all that, and plus you don't have really access to medical attention and medical care, and so a lot of stuff that builds up. And so it's one of the things that many people don't really think about. Like I said, I've done a lot of stories about Biddle House here. Like I said, this is the city's homeless shelter, and they're going to be going in, they're going to be examining the homeless, people with issues. They're going to be making sure that they are able to get to some place where they can get medical attention. Some people have to go, and they're getting around to all the shelters. Some people have to go right from the shelter to the hospital for medical attention, because they find people who have a lot of medical issues, a lot of challenges to deal with. And obviously it's really important when you get a lot of people in one building. Take like this building here, Biddle House, you got a lot of people confined in here, and obviously you don't want people to be super sick or have any kind of contagious diseases, and it's because they run the risk of being able to of contaminating everybody else here, and that obviously can be just a major challenge. I'm going to talk to Dr. Kendra Holmes. She is the CEO and president of Affinia Healthcare. Hello, Doc.
Hello, how are you today,
I'm
Elliot?
doing pretty good. Tell me what you guys are doing.
So our team is out here at Biddle House, and we are actually providing services to the unhoused. So we are providing referrals for medical, behavioral health, substance abuse services. We're also enrolling them in Medicaid.
So what kind of problems do you find common problems do you find that they have?
Well, you know, what we're seeing now after that brutal weather, the cold, we're seeing injuries from laying down, on the steam outside. So we've got a lot of injuries, and then just the normal things. So high blood pressure, as far as oral care, dental issues, all kinds of medical issues.
A lot of these people really haven't seen a doctor or haven't had medical attention, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So again, it's difficult for individuals who are. It's difficult for individuals to navigate the healthcare system who do have housing. So imagine what the issues are for people who are homeless.
So how many homeless shelters are you guys getting around to, and pop-up shelters and all that?
So we probably do over 10 shelters, and we also do encampments. So we're interacting with individuals who are on the streets as well. So not just going to the physical shelters, but going where they are. So the streets, the encampments, everywhere in the city.
So have you been over to that homeless encampment on 10th and Cass?
Oh, of course. That's one of our spots that we hit frequently, yes.
So what do you find? I mean, what kind of issues?
Again, so what we find is just, again, they're unhoused, and we're trying to link them to care. So in particular for those individuals who are living outside, we're trying to refer them to shelter, be that Biddle House, Little Sisters of the Poor, any particular shelter where we can get them out of the element.
So what do you find? Do you find a lot of people that just don't want to go to shelters?
Well, no, I think that's a misconception that people say that, they just want to be outside. So there are many issues why they choose not to go to shelters. Sometimes they can't bring their spouses with them. Sometimes they are afraid that their belongings will be stolen. And they've had other bad experiences at shelters. So shelters aren't always the best places to go. They're not always safe. So no, that is a huge misconception that the unhoused just want to be unhoused. Of course there are behavioral health issues. Of course there are substance abuse issues, but those are also in the regular public as well. So we see a variety of barriers for them to be housed.
And then some people have pets they don't want to leave behind.
Yes, some people have pets, and some of the shelters don't. They don't have the capacity to accept their pets.
What do you see as a problem in the shelters?
Oh, overcrowding, not enough access for beds. We see sometimes with women, there are not a lot of access for women's shelters. And then just really that support. So providing shelter is one thing, but linking individuals to referrals so that they can get out of this cycle is the other piece. So the case management. So this is not to say anything about the shelters. The shelters are doing what they can. But the goal should be to get them out of the shelters. The goal should get them to be housed and to be productive and to work and to be citizens that are tax-paying citizens. So that's the goal. So I think there's a need for more navigation and case management to get them out of this situation.
Do you run into people that you have to get to hospitals?
Oh, yes. So right after the call, we had numerous people who had frostbite, who had injuries. So we do have to refer them to the emergency department and hospitals.
Because I know there were some people over that tent encampment that suffered frostbite injuries. Right?
Oh, absolutely. So in freezing weather, of course, you're going to have frostbite. So we do have to refer them to the emergency department and hospital.
Describe how that happens. I mean, people, when they're sleeping in the tent, and the tent presumably is warmer, and they have socks and all that's fun. But
so the issue usually is when moisture gets in. So if you can stay dry, that will help. But once those temperatures get so low and there's moisture that gets into those tents, into your clothing, frostbite usually will set in.
Why is what you're doing so important?
It's so important because at Affinia Healthcare, this is our mission. This is what we do every day. We're out here helping those who are the most vulnerable, and it's just about humanity. Like ultimately, it's just about if you were in this situation, would you want someone to help you?
Do you think the city is doing enough to help the homeless?
Oh, here he goes with this question. So I think that there is always an opportunity. You know my answer. How many times? There's always an opportunity to do better. I will definitely say there's an opportunity to do better. I think we need to focus on the root causes and not just use this as a Band-Aid. Again, shelters provide a service that's needed, but we need to get to the root cause of why these individuals are unhoused.
When you say there's always an opportunity to do better, what do you mean? What should be done that's not being done?
So I would say that I did agree with you that we needed a warming bus for a longer period of time. That a warming bus is not a Band-Aid. It is actually a saving grace for people who are out here just waiting to get referred to shelters, because it's not an instantaneous thing that happens, right? So if someone needs a shelter, we're trying to refer them. It doesn't happen in 10 minutes, right? So it may take hours for us to get those individuals to those beds. So even having that warming bus is just somewhere that they can go to stay warm until we get them into those shelters.
Don't you think these are things that we should know by now? I mean, we've dealt with a lot of winters in this city.
Well, it's not rocket science, Elliot. It's really not. But just doing it and wanting to do it is something different. And sometimes it's not always about the money, right? Like at Affinia Healthcare, we don't get lots of funding to do this work, but we've made it a part of our mission because we want these people to have a better life. So it's about wanting to do the work.
Do you find the homeless problem in the city is getting better or worse?
I believe it is getting worse. I think it's getting worse for a couple of reasons. The population is aging. So we're starting to see older individuals who are unhoused as well. Homelessness used to be a young person's issue, but as the society ages, we are seeing older people who are becoming unhoused.
Like what ages are you talking about?
Oh, about your age. No.
Thank you. And this is supposed to be my friend too. Thank you.
Around your age, well, the baby boomers. Okay.
So around what ages are we talking?
I mean, we can start seeing it in the 60s, like around retirement age, 60, 65. We're starting to see more older individuals who are unhoused.
70s?
Absolutely,
as well?
Absolutely. We're seeing. I mean, it could happen to anyone. But imagine just how things are so expensive now, and if you don't have significant retirement, this could be what happens to you.
So, are you finding that a lot of people just can't afford housing? Is it a big affordable housing issue that's causing it?
I mean, I think that's an issue for all of us. Housing is very expensive. Affordable housing is very expensive. There's not a lot of affordable housing in St. Louis. And there's just also just the cost of living in general, food, health insurance in general. All of those are issues that impact homelessness.
What makes Affinia so determined to do this? You guys have been out here a long time, and it's kind of one of your missions. Why is this so important?
Why is it so important? Because it's our mission. That's what we're charged to do every day. We are here for the most vulnerable, and the unhoused are the most vulnerable.
And you're saying, in your mind, it's getting a little worse.
I think it's getting a lot worse. All you got to do is look around. 5 years ago we had a problem, but if you look now, it's worse. And I've been at Affinia for 22 years, and we've been working with the unhoused all this time. It's getting worse.
What is causing it to get worse?
Again, I think that the cost of living is higher. I think that after COVID, we had a significant amount of individuals who had mental health issues, substance use disorder issues, and then again, that aging population of individuals who are running into hard times.
So what you guys are doing today is focusing in on the medical problems.
So we actually take a comprehensive approach. It's not just the medical problems. We're also trying to get individuals who may need to be in shelters. We refer them to shelters. We address behavioral health issues. We address substance abuse issues. And we also address the fact that they may have no insurance. So we also enroll them in insurance.
Are there people who come out here with no substance abuse problems, but that the longer they're out here, there's a higher risk that they can develop those problems?
Oh, absolutely.
Because of the stress and strain
Yeah,
of just being out on the street.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's no different than any other population. But the issues that the unhoused face, yes, that does definitely increase their potential of utilizing substances.
What more do you think this city could be or should be doing to help solve the problem?
I think we need to address what are the root causes. For years, we are just putting a Band-Aid. We're sheltering people, but we're not really getting to the root of why they are unhoused. Is it behavioral health issues? Is it lack of affordable housing? Is it lack of jobs? But that is the piece that we're missing, that actual navigation and case management piece to actually get them out of this situation. Otherwise, it's just a vicious cycle. We've seen people who've been unhoused for 20 years.
Dr. Kendra Holmes, CEO, Affinia Healthcare. Doc, thanks.
All right.
Okay.
You pop your shit up. I love you.
Anyway, in the event, Affinia Healthcare out here. This is Biddle House. This is the city's homeless shelter, and they are having folks go in. They'll be checking out the homeless people who are here, see who needs medical attention, trying to help them get it, trying to help them get to the medical attention they need. Some people may need to go to hospitals. They'll help with that too, trying to get them in get them health insurance. Some may be eligible for Medicare and Medicaid and everything. But basically, they go to a lot of the homeless shelters as well as pop-up shelters to check on the homeless population to make sure that they're able to get the medical attention they need. Because obviously a lot of them, they don't get to see doctors. They don't get to go out and see the doctors. So what Affinia is doing is bringing the medical care to them. Of course, I'm going to stay on top of this issue, my Facebook friends.